Be careful how you use it.
All right, Chris. Here we are in the very orange.
Yeah, unfortunately, very
Kia
orange.
Stinger.
Not my favorite color in the world.
GTS.
It is a bold color, though.
Sure, we can go with bold. I like to say ugly, but no, nevertheless, it is a color very unique to this model, the GTS. So basically, it's the Kia Stinger GT2, or GT, I should say. Nice Alcantara flat bottom steering wheel, some nice Alcantara on the center console here. It's got upgraded brakes.
Finally.
Yes.
That was.
It's got moisturizer in the.
That was the Achilles heel of the GT.
Yeah. So what they did was when they brought it to America, they didn't put the Eurospec brakes on it, which can handle a racetrack, and then they found out the brakes were overheating and fading and failing, and so then they basically said, well, we'll just put the European brakes on it, bring it over here, call it GTS. Problem solved.
Right, and then gave it this unique color, which you can only get it in this orange.
I mean, the orange only available in the GTS.
Right. I think you can
correct.
get other colors in the GTS. Yes.
Can you?
Pretty sure.
I thought it was
It'd
just
be a very strange marketing ploy to say you can only get an orange car.
That would be odd. Fair enough. You know, if you've seen our reviews on the Stinger, you know that we fell in love with the car. It's we're not even going to say for a Kia because it's just a good car. I mean, it's fast, it handles good, it's comfortable, you get all the tech that you need.
Well, let's be honest though. The Kia Stinger is where Kia started to make a name for itself as a more than just a budget manufacturer. They really hit a home run with this thing.
They upped their game with it.
They upped their game, and
absolutely.
now we just got out of the Telluride off-road, and
which was a great SUV.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, we said it at the time when we reviewed the Stinger that this is probably going to be the car that launches Kia into its next phase, where it's not looked at as just a budget cheap car, where it's got some style, it's got performance.
It's got street cred.
Well, as long as they don't start to back off from this formula.
Right.
Like if this is a one shot and done, then it was for nothing. But if they continue on this path that they're doing, Kia is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
But look at the new Soul, right? It's bigger.
It's actually kind of cool too.
It's kind of cool,
right?
So they're definitely going that direction.
Yeah.
They actually, what the next place I think Kia needs to go is like the Supra that's sitting in front of us. They need to go to a smaller,
right?
They need a Veloster N,
right?
Which is what their cousin, their parent,
or like
Hyundai
a two-seater sports car,
like a smaller version of this,
which would be cool.
Which would be awesome. Take the same motor, put it in a small.
This engine's awesome.
I know, because that's what they used to do in the '60s, right? You had the whole pony car phase. And genre came out of stuffing a bigger motor into a smaller vehicle.
Yeah.
Do that with this.
And not that this car is tiny, because it's a good sized car.
Oh,
but it handles really unbelievable.
This thing is so much fun to drive. Just all of the Turbo Stingers are just so much fun to drive. You find yourself nailing it out of every turn and any chance you get. And so consequently your gas mileage is awful, but that's because it's just too much fun to drive, right?
But let's be honest, you're not going to buy a car with high horsepower and sport performance and be concerned about gas mileage.
No, you shouldn't be. And you can buy this car with all-wheel drive,
which this one has,
and then you've got yourself a year-round awesome performer.
All right, so let's beat the crap out of this car on the racetrack and see what sort of performance the GTS badge brings to the Stinger.
And you just do your best to overheat the brakes and see what happens. Oh yeah.
Oh, as always, the car just takes off. I mean, the shifts are quick.
All right. Now let's talk about a negative off the bat, and that is that I'm almost in your lap right now because the seat isn't holding me anywhere.
The seats need more support. Even back here, I'm driving on the things.
And
they missed the boat on putting in proper Recaro type bolstered seats.
Right.
Without a doubt. I mean, you upgrade the brakes. You say that this is more of a track focused car, but yet I'm literally like trying to keep myself in the seat.
Yeah, this
it's
they need if you don't have any ideas, go over and look at like an SRT Charger and just pull the seats out of that thing, because the bolsters on here look impressive until you actually take a turn.
Right.
And then, it's nothing but lean. The backs of them have no lateral support.
No, they really don't. I mean, like, I'm holding myself in with my legs.
Right.
And the steering wheel. I mean, and I shouldn't be. I should be. The brakes aren't bad.
I was just gonna say that seemed like it was pretty good.
They're nice. They're grabby. There's a good feel in the pedal. Good linear feel with it. I mean, I can really modulate my braking here nicely. Handling is great. I mean, you get the benefit of the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, just nail it in the corner.
And it just pulls you through, especially being rear bias. Yeah, I mean,
we're climbing into the rear seat, or well, there's no rear seat of the Supra, into the trunk here, because you were gaining on him hard.
Yeah, well, this engine, man, I'm telling you, it just pulls, and then you have that.
I have to say, there's no way this engine's just doing 365.
No. I think they underrated it.
Yeah, it seems to be the thing to do nowadays, like with that Supra being way underrated too.
But it just pulls like a freight train.
It does.
And there's no real turbo lag. It's just a nice engine. The transmission's good. The handling's good. This all-wheel drive, I got a little bit of
body roll.
Not too much though.
Like if it just had some better seats.
The seats is the big thing, because again, if this is going to be your sort of performance-based Stinger,
right? Like,
give me the seats that I need to keep my ass in the seat.
Right, because if you just want like a comfortable, fast car, get a GT2, get a GT1.
Right.
The GTS ought to be the halo of the performance aspects of the Stinger, which it has plenty in the engine and the transmission, and now the brakes, but you got to put it in the seats too.
And they did do a good job on these brakes. I mean, it not only has got the stopping power, but there's no wiggle. I mean, there's no sway when you're getting on the brakes. It's nice and planted, which is good because it keeps you nice and controlled.
Get it. Come on.
I know this guy needs to get going here.
He's looking in his mirror, seeing this big giant orange Stinger in his super mirror, and wondering why we're still here. Now, the one thing that Supra has that this Kia needs in this trim level is a poppier exhaust. I mean, it is cool to hear that Supra just pop it off, burbles and downshifts.
But you don't hear it in
the Stinger.
This. The exhaust could be a little bit more extreme. And again, GTS, right? Why was that not something that was thought of?
Exactly.
Why wasn't that added?
It's like they went most of the way, but yeah, exhaust and seats, and this thing is a badass car. And honestly, they could tune the suspension a little harder, a little less sway, but
I could see that. Just GTS, give me a little bit less body roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being here in the back seat, I really feel the body roll. It's not extreme. It's not like a Mazda Miata.
No.
But it's definitely something that they could have tuned out of it.
But I will say, I mean, again, bring up these brakes, because that's probably the biggest thing on this car.
Yes.
There's no fade. There's no. I have complete confidence in this. It's nice. Again, the transmissions. I mean, just listen. The Stinger's a badass car. Let's just be honest. And I think that this is just bringing it to the next level. I definitely would have preferred it in a different color, but I'm not going to complain. And the steering with the Alcantara, it just feels great. They got these nice notches.
You don't even need driving gloves on the track.
No.
Yeah, that's a nice looking wheel.
It's just great. The turning is great. I mean, everything about this car, like we said before, it's just very impressive for Kia coming out of the gate with a performance sedan.
Yeah, if you're going to make a statement, make it like the Stinger. And that's a lesson to anybody else out there in the automotive world. Like, if you're going to sort of change direction and try to redefine your brand, just do it, and do it well.
So, I think it's safe to say that, like the Stinger GT2, the three of us like this car. This has been Chris Brendan and Paul with Sons of Speed, and we'll catch you next time on the track.